What is something that everyone accepts as normal that scares you? There are creatures in the ocean we haven't discovered yet just chilling down there. Have you ever considered a few animals will never know about the existence of other living beings? Like a lion wouldn't know about, say, an octopus or a whale. When all those kids in Pinocchio turned into donkeys. That one kid crying for his mama before barking like a donkey terrified me as a kid. I'm very curious how they're going to do it for the live action version. They'll probably use CG instead of really turning them into donkeys. That being in debt is normal. So many people just keep digging that hole with some amorphous thought that they will pay it all back eventually, even if they know deep down that it just won't happen. How acceptable it is for companies to screw people. There's a reason there was a systematic campaign against unions. Now they want to remove your ability to seek legal redress. Alexa. It feels like these are not normal times and it scares me what peak crazy might be. It's starting to get to me. Same. I've developed anxiety. And now I'm depressed and hate everything. It's like being in prison. I have done nothing since March except gain weight and ignoring the truth because it makes them uncomfortable. It's hilarious how many people will read this, think it doesn't apply to them, and scroll past it. You're not wrong. I've said for years now that I'd rather have the truth than believe false things. The problem is, we all have our preferred biases. Sometimes, I'll scroll past that uncomfortable truth before coming back to it for real before accepting it. One of the few things I'm 100% sure of is that there are some truths that I have yet to circle back on yet. That is, things I've already come across and dismissed as untrue. I also say that I'd rather only be wrong once. I know I've not lived up to that entirely though. Dying lingering. Painful deaths that last for weeks, months, or even years because we're afraid of death and anti-euthanasia. If other people want to die naturally, that's up to them, and they've got every right to do so. But if I'm one day facing a long, painful death, I want to be peacefully and painlessly killed via euthanasia. And I should have the right to do so without risking the doctor performing the procedure going to jail. To be clear, I do not want to die via euthanasia either. The ideal way of going would be peacefully in my sleep, or alternatively, some kind of instant death via explosion, or whatever. I would prefer to die without artificial means to either end or prolong my life. But euthanasia should be available as an option, not a requirement for those who want it and are facing terminal illness. It bothers me even more with stuff like dementia. I don't want to lose who I am. Why can't I make a directive that says take me out when it gets too bad? The amount of plastic in everyone's homes in the form of temporary food packaging. It doesn't seem like much until you pay attention to it, and then think about how much of it you alone are guilty of discarding. This stuff is literally everywhere, even in the lowest parts of our oceans. The rapid increase in mass surveillance combined with the gathering and use of biometric data. I'm not usually a doomsday conspiracy theorist, but sprinkle a little advanced AI on top of that, and I'll go make myself a nice tinfoil hat. Biking in traffic. Major news outlets deliberately leaving out information, selecting out misleading headlines, or having strong political biases/agendas. Practice media distancing. I have been largely, but in order to combat disinformation you need to be aware of the talking points, so you sort of need just dive in with healthy skepticism. Having to work more than one job to survive. I used to be in shock at school when our history teacher would tell us about people working 14 to 16 hours during Industrial Revolution. Guess what? It has barely changed. Yeah, it's really messed up. Minimum wage isn't even living wage. The fact that most of the current generation of working people in this country won't be able to have their own homes. I know a couple that will finally have paid off their home after retirement. It's a real shame. And it's not in America either. This is a worldwide issue for some reason. Europeans and the Japanese have it just as bad. terrifies me. Not caring about doing the right thing or the well-being of other people. Animal factory farms churning out antibiotic-resistant bacteria as a result of raising animals in deplorable conditions and close quarters while overusing antibiotics. It's absolutely terrifying, yet we as a population accept it. This will be a major health crisis in our lifetime, and we'll all act so shocked when it comes. Edit. Long but fantastic article on the topic. Working more of your life than you do actually living. That I'm supposed to just bleed for a week every month for 30 odd years of my life. Who invented this abysmal system? Having kids. The thought alone makes me stressed out. Child beauty pageants. I don't know if I would say that everyone accepts these as normal, but the fact that they are still around and still pretty popular is concerning. The fact that most people on this planet will have to work for at least 40 to 50 years of their entire lives. Edited to 50 more depressing.